Welcome in everyone to the Yankees Den podcast. I am your host Lorenzo Scarabino, and we have a 2-1 victory today for the New York Yankees who beat the Guardians in the final game of this series. And I just want to talk about the title of today's video before we really jump into it and get all happy and excited. I want to jump into the title. Did the Yankees lose this series, or was it so much that the Guardians won this series? And I would say that the Yankees lost the series and beat themselves ultimately. The Guardians played a very good series. They do what they do best. They were pesky, had great at bats, worked the count. Jose Ramirez plays well here, so he just came to New York and did what he always does best, and that's hit. He just got on base, and there was really no stopping him. We did stop him today, but the Yankees lost this one. Although the first game, 9-4 loss, Cam Schlittler really didn't do good, and the bullpen kind of unraveled after that. Yesterday, we could have won. It was a very winnable game. With Garrett Cole on the mound, we still could have scored more runs and should have scored more runs. We should have scored more than 4 runs, and that's very poor by the offense this series. We didn't have a strong series, even though we won today. It was only 2-1. It was great that we took this final game because we lost the series, so there really wasn't much to talk about. But thank God for this game. They win 2-1 with Rodon on the mound, going 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he also hit 97. Now, he hit 97, which is great. You love to see how, as he's getting older and coming off of an injury this year, you love to see him start to get back to his velo, and his control looked great today. I thought his pitches looked very sharp. His changeup looked great. He has now an under 3 ERA on the season, his first 5 starts. His last 3 starts, a 1.6 ERA, which is just phenomenal. A big part of this rotation last year, coming back and being able to get on track after the first 2 starts, is huge for the New York Yankees, with Max Fried on the IL and Garrett Cole still coming back in a sense from Tommy John, not getting as much length out of him as we wanted yesterday's game in game 2, that 4-5 loss. But this is just something that needs to happen over time, as Rodon is going to need to be this kind of version of himself, especially into October, if we want to succeed. We talked about in my other videos how Rodon in the playoffs has to step up. And this version of Rodon has to be in the playoffs. He's got to be dominant. He's got to be confident in his stuff, and he's just got to get swing and miss and strikeouts after strikeouts, which is what he does best. And I love to watch it and see it today. It was a pleasure to watch him pitch today in this pitcher's duel. I thought the offense didn't do great against Sassoni, which is not a great pitcher, and he has the second worst ERA in the American League. So of course he comes into town and he shoves and deals a pretty good game against the New York Yankees. But also, something I want to point out is Max Scheumann getting his first start today in right field, making a diving snag in the second inning, which is just very impressive for his first ever start in right field. And also the seventh inning, up against the track, he makes a catch that maybe stops an extra base hit from coming. And I think he did a really good job understanding where he was in the outfield, having not played right field or started the game there. And he just continues to be a difficult decision for when Stanton comes back and Jason Dominguez comes back, because you would love to keep him on your bench. He's just such a versatile guy who is very great, and has played to his strengths, which is just being pesky and annoying. And that's really what he's done. His at bats have been great, even though today he struggled a little bit, but there's nothing to complain about with him. Also, I want to bring up getting our first run. We were down 1-0, and Jazz Chisholm having a nice situational at bat. And like in his first at bat, he was swinging for the fences. This second at bat, I was actually watching the game, and once I saw it, because I thought he was going to strike out for sure, I saw that swing and where he hit the ball, and I was like, Okay, Jazz, we need more of that from you. That is the Jazz Chisholm that we need going into the future and into June and into July and into the playoffs, especially if Aaron Judge is going to be out for a significant amount of time. We still don't know how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully, you get that news later today. But Jazz Chisholm with a person on third base, shortening up and driving the ball the other way. He wasn't pulling, he went with the high and away fastball, threw his hands at it, which is what you love to see. Driving in that run, Cody Bellinger misreads the play and gets, tagged out at third base, but nothing to complain about there. Also, a big play of the game, which is the reason why we won today, is Ryan McMahon's go ahead single in the seventh inning. I cannot be more proud. I love Ryan McMahon, as I said in the first video, and I hope he does good. I'm rooting for him, as I'm rooting for every Yankee, but him more so because he came over for defense first, and people didn't expect a lot for the offense, and they've been getting on him this year about the offense. So I think it's really good that he's starting to get into his stride. You're starting to see as he's playing more and more and getting more opportunities, we're talking about him a little more. He's starting to do a little more with the baseball, going opposite field, hitting home runs, Oppo, pulling the ball, finding holes, going 1 for 3. That's all we need. If he's going to play his defense, go 1 for 3 and play amazing defense. We saw him make a nice play on a Jose Ramirez sharp line drive to him today in the game, which is all you need from him. And that at bat, we had 2 outs and Jazz Chisholm at third base. I also want to give credit to Jazz Chisholm for working at a walk ahead of that Ryan McMahon at bat and stealing second base, being really aggressive on the base paths, and the catcher and pitcher worry about him a ton. He steals second base, gets in the scoring position. Then there's a pass ball that isn't that far away from the Patrick Bailey, but just enough so Jazz could take third base and advance. And then he gets in a good position for a single, drives him in. And what does Ryan McMahon does? Work a good at bat, drives it past the first and second baseman, and gets to run home the go ahead run to secure the 2-1 victory. I also want to go over Brent Hedrick had a very clean seventh. Then Fernando Cruz comes in the eighth, has a very clean eighth inning. And then I really want to go into David Bednar. What a ninth inning, even though it was a regular ninth inning and you expect that out of your closer spot in your bullpen. He hasn't been good as of late, and this is what you like to see. He's filling up the zone. His splitter looked good. His fastball looked good. I really liked what he did today. Kept the short pitch count, worked in the zone, ahead in the count, got the outs he needed, and really made a quick work of this Guardians lineup in the ninth inning, which is what you want. And I felt great with him on the mound today after seeing him that first at bat. His pitches working and his pitches look good. So that's what you love to see. Hopefully he gets, a boost of confidence from this outing and he works off of it and he stays good and he builds a couple good outings now and brings his ERA down as it's over 4 a little bit. But great job by him, Scheumann, McMahon, Jazz, Goldie going 1 for 3, Bellinger getting a hit. That's what you like to see. To Trent Grisham's credit, getting 2 more hits. His batting average is up over 210 now, 700 OPS. He needs to keep building that average up because, 210 in the leadoff spot. But he's doing better as of late. We are waiting on this Aaron Judge news, as everybody is. We're all on the edge of our seats waiting to hear the news. So Boone said it's going to come tonight. He was expecting to say it at the post game, but he didn't have any news. Now, going into the next series, we have our first game versus the Red Sox tomorrow coming into town at 7:05 in the Bronx. We have Weathers versus Sonny Gray. And the reason why I am so excited for this game tomorrow is because Sonny Gray has talked a lot of smack since going to the Red Sox. This is where he wants to be. He doesn't like the Yankees. He didn't want to get traded to the Yankees and this, that, and the third. So now you want to step on his throat and you want to attack early and you want to beat the brakes off of this Red Sox team who's been playing bad. and had a bad game against the O's today. So you really want to step on their throat, score early, shut them down, and win the game. Hopefully, Ryan Weathers looks to bounce back this start after having a shaky start in Oakland, Sacramento, giving up 5 runs. So he looks to get back on track. The Yankees pitchers today only gave up 2 hits, so that's a great job. 5 hits from the offense. You need to carry the pitching aspect from today to tomorrow, only the 2 hits allowed. The offense needs to get a little going, a little bit more than 2 runs, I believe, against the Red Sox. I think they're not going to go away, even though that they haven't been so great. They always play a little up against the Yankees because it's always a big series and it's a big rivalry. We win today. We're half a game back and now of the Tampa Bay Rays, who did not have a game today. They had off. So you just want to keep winning. You're half a game. You're 7 games up on the Blue Jays and Orioles, and at third place. And we really limited Jose Ramirez today, which is a great job by the staff. Great job by Rodon and all the relief pitchers that came in. So also, before I end this video and episode today, I want to talk about the record against teams above 500. Even though people like to talk about it and it hasn't been good or whatever, and we lost a series against Cleveland, who's first in the Central and has an above 500 record, I think it's too early. So if I was a Yankee fan, I am a Yankee fan. As a Yankee fan right now, I wouldn't get too worried about it. Don't get yourself worked up with those comments that you see online on X and on Instagram. Don't get yourself worked up. Don't get mad about that. It's way too early to tell how the Yankees are. This is just being stowed upon us because of the last few seasons, our record against teams 500 or above. So just give it a little bit more. I'd say by the end of August, you make a pretty clear indication of where the Yankees at against good teams and good pitching. So with that being said, that's the Yankees Den episode for today. Great win, 2-1 versus the Yankees. Take on the Red Sox 3-game set. Then we go to Cleveland to play a 3-game set. And then we buckle up and take a ride to Canada to play the Toronto Blue Jays. Big month ahead in June. Big few series coming up next. And as always, let's go New York Yankees.